independent contractors is a serious problem. There are differences in benefits and protections to which employee may be legally entitled to. Breaking it all down, of course, our legal expert, Jehan Crump-Gibson, is here from Great Lakes Legal. First of all, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing very well. It just seems like, how do you break that down when it comes to employment or general contracting? What's the difference?
Yeah, so a lot of small business owners, obviously, employees are expensive, right?
Yes, you got to
pay the payroll taxes, you got to pay for this, pay for that. So it's simple to just give them a contract and say, hey, I'm going to 1099 you.
Right.
But the way the law looks at it as if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's not an elephant, it's a duck, right?
Right.
So there's a test. Like if the person that's providing service for you can't do work for other people, you control the equipment, the location, when they provide the service. When you look at things like that, that's sounding more like an employee,
wow,
according to what the law says, and less like an independent contractor. So even if you bring folks into your workforce and you say, okay, listen, I'm just going to give you a contract, but they're there for a set amount of time, you know what I mean?
There's not really any time that makes it, like if they're working for 6 weeks, is that, or is it 4 weeks, or if they have this 6-week period, but they can't take any other work?
Well, that's project-based, so perhaps you can get away with it then. But if this is somebody that's literally joining your workforce and providing integral services, important stuff to your business.
Like say you have a handyman, and you bought him the truck, and he works for you anytime you call him, but he's an independent contractor.
Can he work for other people? Does he farm himself out to other people?
Well, not with my truck.
Not on your truck.
No, he can.
If he can, and he kind of gets to it when he feels like it, then yeah, that's different. But if this is your dedicated person, they have to be here these hours, they use your tools, your equipment, and they don't really have that independence, because that's really what it boils down to, then that's going to look like an employee.
All right.
And you got to classify him as such, or you can get in some trouble.
Some trouble. Nobody wants trouble.
Nobody wants trouble.
And when it gets big trouble, it goes to the Supreme Court. And I read about a case earlier. I wanted to get your opinion on this. The Supreme Court is making it easier for workers who are transferred from one job to another against their will to sue for job discrimination. Now, this comes from an employee that was a detective, got moved to a desk job. Some things were taken away from her. Even though the classification is the same and the pay is the same, the job is different. This one got thrown out of smaller court, went to the Supreme Court, and they said, no, she has a case, and pushed it back. What say you about that?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, and it's going to open up the gates for more discrimination suits, because as you were getting at before, it's typically more obvious. You got demoted, right? You had to take a pay cut. You did all these things. It was obvious, you know, that it was a bad action for the employer to take. Now, not necessarily so, because before they could say, hey, she's working $75,000 over here and still making $75,000, there's no problem, right? But for this particular employee, from what I read, it was more of a prestigious position, right? So then when she got put on desk duty, she has all this administrative stuff. She has to work weekends. She got her car taken away. So even if she was at the same pay scale, there was absolutely a difference. And we've never seen that before.
I know, because that opens up a can, because I remember reading a story about a police officer that didn't like what the other officers were doing because they were doing illegal things. So she was starting to tell them, got transferred. But she had no case because she got transferred, equal pay, equal description. So I'm wondering what that means for future cases. And when the Supreme Court rules something,
when they
it changes the game.
It really changes the landscape in the game. So before, because what that boils down to, Lee, is damages. Because before, people can do something wrong, but you have to be able to show damages. But now, I mean, and you know, you saw in the opinion, they said, listen, if she suffered these adverse actions, she's, you know, not able to have her weekends, it's not as prestigious, that's harm.
No car,
those are damages.
She has to pay for her own car. That's it costs a little bit of money. We appreciate you coming in and giving us some light on legal subjects. If you want any more information from Jehan or any of the Great Lakes Legal Group, go to gllegalgroup.com.